What's up, everybody? I'm a Teleworker, and today we are reacting to the Superman official trailer. We finally got a real trailer for this. It's not a teaser. It's not a sneak peek. This is a real trailer that will hopefully give us some of the story of what is going on in this movie. I am moderately excited for this movie. I'm not the biggest Superman fan in the world. I do like the Christopher Reeve movies, and I like the Henry Cavill Superman. But that's pretty much it. I didn't watch Superman and Lois. I don't read a lot of comics with Superman in it. I've always been more of a Batman and Flash guy for DC. But I do know for a fact that this version of Superman, from what I've seen so far, is the most comic booky representation of Superman I've seen in probably my whole life outside of like the cartoons. Like, this is like they have the Fortress of Solitude and the Superman robots and the all that stuff, and I think that that is really cool. I also know there's going to be a lot of other Justice League member cameos in here. There's a Green Lantern, there's Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, who's like a very lesser known character, so that's kind of cool. Mr. Terrific is very underrated, so I really hope they do him justice in this movie. James Gunn is known for taking underrated characters and unknown characters and bringing them into the spotlight and turning them into household names. He did it with Guardians of the Galaxy. There is a whole generation of people now who know and love Rocket Raccoon, who never in a million years would have known who that character was if they didn't read comics. So it is really exciting to me to see that James Gunn is now in charge of DC, because there's a ton of DC characters that have kind of been left in the back burner forever. But yeah, everything, all the plans DC has hinge on this movie being good. I really hope it's good. It's got a lot of weight on its shoulders. If this movie sucks, DC might have to restart again, and they're just barely restarting. That being said, I am optimistic. I like James Gunn's filmography. Every James Gunn movie I've ever seen, I liked. I don't want to talk too long. Let's get into the reaction. Let's see what you got, James Gunn.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
Nice.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for
I
what
know,
some
it's a
might.
lot of fire,
It's
but-
a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny?
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States
representing
will cause
anybody
more
except for me.
problems around the world.
And doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die. Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Whoa.
Your choices, your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. It's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
dog.
Okay. I immediately have a question, okay? Because it looks like they are very obviously saying both parents are alive for at least a chunk of this movie while he's Superman. That's interesting, because I as far as I know, most adaptations of Superman, his dad is dead when he becomes Superman. Like, his dad's already gone. And I think that's interesting. I think it was it the Justice League cartoon, or was it the Superman animated series that both of his parents were still alive? I don't remember. There was a cartoon where both of his parents were still alive. I know that for sure. So maybe they're going to go that route and they're just not going to kill either parent. I don't know. Or maybe that'll be like the big moment of the movie. Maybe the dad will die in like the third act or something, in some tragic way. But I don't know. Would they risk changing the dad's death again after how much backlash Zack Snyder got for it? Either way, I trust James Gunn. We'll see what happens in the actual movie. It could be misleading, could be clips of the trailer for like his first outing as Superman, and then maybe those are still flashbacks, and I don't know. We don't know. I am really liking the tone of this so far. It looks like they're going to play with that guilt a little of like, you doing this may have caused America to become involved in that war, and now what are we going to do? Now more people are going to die. And I think that is an interesting concept of like, you know, Batman vs. Superman touched on that a little bit, and I liked it then too, is that how do you choose when it is and isn't okay to save people? Because it should always be okay. But unfortunately, in our very complicated human world, sometimes people will be upset with you for doing that. And that is an interesting idea. I'm also surprised that they showed Lex Luthor invading the Fortress of Solitude, because I didn't think we were going to actually see that in the trailer. I thought they would allude to that and then we would see it in the movie. I'm surprised that they showed that in the trailer. I thought that was going to be like a big significant part of the movie, for like the third act or something. I didn't think, maybe it happens earlier in the movie that I'm assuming, but I assumed when I saw that in the first teaser of Clark with the robots, I thought that was going to be like when the robot is destroyed. I thought it was going to be the end of the movie. Like the third act is going to be like, I thought Lex Luthor was going to figure out who Superman is, like as Kal-El and Clark Kent, and then attack the Fortress of Solitude at the end of the movie. But this kind of throws all that off now, and now I'm not so sure. Also, I'm curious if they are going to make it so that Lex is working with the government. Because it seems like he's operating this sort of military type force, or maybe they're robots, but it looks like he has some type of soldiers that are like collecting like vigilantes and like superpowered beings. Also, what the fuck is this big space jellyfish thing shooting lasers everywhere? What is that? Like, I'm so curious as to what this is. Is this gonna be like a end of the movie cliffhanger? Like, is this Brainiac or something? Like, what is this? Like, what is happening here? I think this movie looks really solid. I love the color grading. I love how vibrant it is. It feels like you're watching a Superman cartoon, and I am into that kind of stuff. I know some people don't like it, and it feels like it's too maybe campy in a way. I prefer when superhero movies lean into the comic bookness of the source material. And it's cool that they're also doing that with the new Fantastic Four movie, which is my most anticipated movie of the year. I am a big Fantastic Four fan. I have Fantastic Four comics on my desk right now, like I'm looking at them. They are my favorite superhero team, and the thing that has me the most excited about that movie is that they're leaning into the comic book vibe of the early 60s comics. It's very colorful, it's very vibrant, it's very bright, and it still has very serious undertones and big stakes and stuff, just like this does. And that's where I think comic book movies should be. There should be a blend of the fantastical with like real stakes. And if you can balance those two things well enough, you can go as comic booky as you want, and the audience will buy in. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts. Comment down below what you guys thought of the trailer. Did you guys have any thoughts on the trailer that I didn't, or any comments on thoughts that I had? Maybe I'm an idiot. I'm not as educated on Superman as a lot of other YouTubers probably are. I am willing to learn, though. I'm not going to, like, trash people. You know, if you guys are like, hey, you know, in this comic this thing happened, or this is a thing from the comics, let me know. I would like to know. Be sure to like the video if you guys enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys later.
But I'm way too alive. I got all of my love that I live with. Just know that I do it for you. When I'm losing myself through it all, even though I'm a mister, you hate what I'm showing when I'm acting different. A part of me's losing the trust, I get distant. So who am I? The judge of your life, I'm crucified. Above all the morals I set a life. You think that I got it, but you ain't mine.